and Ain't No Peace in the whole project, what was the top thing, or maybe the top two things that you really wanted to convey through your message on the project?
It's like, especially for Ain't No Peace, you're hearing a deep, a surrounding of emotion, but mostly anger.
Right.
And it's, what do we have to do? How many times do we have to prove ourselves, to be treated equally? How many times we have to march and protest for peace and we never get it? So It makes you realize there ain't no peace, man. Like, there's never been no peace. Like, it could be camouflaged and packaged to look like peace, but it's not no peace because no one's doing anything about it, or the people that could do something about it aren't moving on it and don't care, because in their minds, they're comfortable. They don't care how other people live. Between Blacks and Hispanics, man, we have it the hardest here in America, and we settle for it.
Right.
Because we're loving people by nature, we continue to take the beatings that we keep getting, man. And it's like, we fight for peace. We try to conversate for peace. We try to, acknowledge the fact that peace needs to exist, but our voices are never being heard. It's at a point now where something has to be done about it.
Yeah. One of the most impactful posts that I've seen on social media is that says, Black Lives Matter is not about putting Black lives over everyone else. It's about creating equality amongst the people. And I think some people cannot fathom that. They don't understand that it's just about equality. Black and brown, let's just bring on the same playing level so everyone is treated consistently.
Right. And that's what it all boils down to, man. And it's funny because Africa now has started to make that twist, starting to make that turn. In a way, it's a good way, but in a lot of ways, it's not going to be good for white people, because when they come, the way they treat us on this side is apparently how people are starting to treat them on the other side. Like, there's certain parts of South Africa where Black people are the most, prominent. It's super, they making all the decisions. They're the ones that's dominant, more richer. And then you go into the areas where there's poor and there's projects, there's all the white people. And it's like the tables completely turned.
Wow.
And it's ridiculous. Like,
that's crazy. Yeah.
Super crazy, because how Blacks are being treated in America is how whites are being treated in South Africa to the point now. So, all the ones that used to be super rich and ran, South Africa with their apartheid are now living in these slums with no opportunities. They trying to find basic jobs and they can't get it because Blacks get hired before they do. And it's so crazy, ironically twisted at that point, to where now it's almost like you feel sorry for them. But then because you've been through it, you know how that feels. You try to find yourself that medium to, to not feel good about that, even though that's something that they put upon themselves, because now it's like they've literally muscled their way into power. So the moment we decide to come as one and do that, it's going to be like, an apocalypse. And I'm afraid for that to happen before a conversation comes, before we can actually find a way to merge within each other's society without getting it to that point.
That's a very powerful point, because if we don't have the conversation now, it can change too fast and nobody's going to understand what really happened and not know how to move forward.
100%. Let's
jump to what's going on in Africa, man. You got so many different projects. You got your own currency. You done created a whole city, man. How did this project come together? Like, what were the pieces that put in play?
I give God all the praises for the blessings to be in a position to have my own city and eventually franchise it all throughout Africa. But it all started, and concept came about when I started my energy company. And the energy company did so well. We're now a complete utility company in 16 countries throughout Africa, and utilizing those funds to be able to now create a more renewable, you can say energy distribution channel throughout the rest of the world. I want to start by building my own city, because through my city, I can use that as a model to be able to show the rest of Africa how we can energize every part of Africa in a more sustainable way, but then also build cities through it that gives them a more modern feel and utilize all of Africa's resources to build a future, like a future tomorrow, a renewable city. So the rest of the world can see how a renewable city can be built in Africa with every resource in Africa used in their own city without having to, export from outside to bring in anything. So it plays in multiple parts, but it's more so to uplift the future of what Africa needs to look like from an architectural standpoint as well, too.
Now, how does the currency come into play?
Well, the currency come into play is because when you come into the city, that's the currency that you'll use.
Okay.
Just city. So the idea is to utilize an alternative financial mechanism that they can use to trade while they're in the city. Because everywhere you go, when you go into a certain country or a certain city, they have their own currency, right?
Right.
So I want it to have its own currency as well. So you come in with your US dollar, you can trade your US dollar and trade it in for some AKONs, and now AKONs become your main source of spending. And then eventually, AKON being into this crypto, it's a cryptocurrency. It is going to be a global currency where you can use it anywhere in the world and be able to trade that around as you go around the world, especially for African diasporas that travel a lot and they carry in their local money that don't really have that much, you could say spending power. Now they can trade all that into AKONs and be able to go to their local ATMs no matter where you're at in the world and trade it for your local currency there.
So when you bring it to America, because I understand Akon Lighting America, you're using solar panel, solar power.
Right.
I noticed you're more in the East Coast. Are there plans to extend west?
Right.
And if so, when does the ball get rolling? Because in Phoenix, we have all this sun here that I'm running for mayor, and I wanted to have this conversation with you as well, not just for the music, but because you're creating sustainable cities. And I feel like when you have the fifth largest city in America, Phoenix, and we're looking for ways to become a more desert sustainable city, then we have to look at all the resources, because you have an individual teaming up with different partners as yourself being successful. Well, then why don't cities implement that same model? And I'm here to find those solutions. So Con, can you speak on how maybe we can get that in Phoenix or other cities can jump on board?
No, Crisco, I think you'll make an amazing mayor, man, because you're already thinking way, beyond the box, and you're already thinking about renewable solutions for the future as we speak. Arizona is actually one of our biggest concentrated markets. We're working on, some things that's, obviously they're under NDA, so I can't really disclose the information.
Okay.
I'm working with a huge group there that's kind of controlling about 2 gigawatts worth of solar energy that they're working on over there. So we're working on partnering with them to do all the construction for it. We're currently also active in Texas as we speak now, and in the East Coast, as you mentioned. But the goal now is to really go real hard in Arizona, because we think that's going to be the future of, solar generation there. And believe it or not, Arizona alone, we can generate enough solar energy to be able to distribute it all throughout America. We can create grids big enough to be able to, power the whole United States in Arizona, because it has and enough sun to be able to do so. So that's going to be one of our major markets over there eventually. It's time now for us to start moving forward towards the future when it comes to energy. Right.
Now, is that for wind as well? Because I know that they're working hand in hand.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, wind and sun go hand in hand. Wherever there's a lot of sun and there's a lot of space and land, wind is naturally going to follow. So wind is definitely a part of our overall structure and plan as well.
I'm glad we finally got to talk again, bro. I'm so glad we got to talk. So,
it.
I appreciate you, Con. Thank you. Much love, much success as always. Ain't no peace. And if you can, I'm going to need a little custom for the campaign, a little something for that.
You got my support 1,000%, bro. You got my support, man, because I know where your heart is, bro. And I know just from the long-standing time that we had, the way you accepted me and everyone else and helped to really groom real careers. So not only are you influential, but you understand how the future needs to work and merge within our cultures, man. And that's super important, especially for Arizona.
Hey, much love, Con. I love you, bro. Thank you so much.
Good seeing you, Chris.